All right, our top focus this morning. TikTok is in troubled waters. The US House of Representatives passed a bill that brings just more trouble for the social media app.
Now, the bill gives TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance around 6 months to divest the US assets of the app or face a complete ban in the United States. Now, this is the biggest threat the app has faced since the Trump administration. The short video app has about 170 million users in the US alone. TikTok CEO says the legislation, if signed into law, would not only take billions of dollars out of the pockets of creators and small businesses, it will also put 300,000 American jobs at risk.
Our platform matters to the small business owners who rely on TikTok to make ends meet, to the teachers who inspire millions of students to learn, and to everyone who discovers and finds joy on TikTok. We will not stop fighting and advocating for you. We will continue to do all we can, including exercising our legal rights, to protect this amazing platform that we have built with you.
Ahead of the vote, several TikTok content creators rallied outside the Capitol Hill. Reports claim TikTok paid for the creators' travel and accommodations in Washington, D.C.
My name is Tiffany Yu. I am joining you from Los Angeles, California, and I'm here because I'm a disability advocate, and TikTok changed my life and so many others within the disability community.
2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed.
The U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday passed a bill cracking down on TikTok. If it were to become law, the measure would force the app's Chinese owner to divest its U.S. assets in 6 months or face a ban. American lawmakers from both parties have raised alarms that through the Chinese-based parent company ByteDance, the Chinese government could gain access to the personal data of more than 170 million American users. Democratic Congresswoman Anna Eshoo.
They can weaponize this data to exploit and manipulate Americans through surveillance and disinformation.
The vote comes a little over a week since the bill was proposed, and after action in Congress had stalled for more than a year. Ahead of Wednesday's vote, Beijing accused Washington of bullying, and there's plenty of opposition at home as well. Republican Congressman Dan Bishop.
The proper relationship between government and citizen in the United States is that the citizen decides what to be exposed to and what ideologies to embrace and consider, and is always free to engage in expression, including across international boundaries.
Democratic and Republican lawmakers said their offices had received large volumes of calls from TikTok users who opposed the legislation, with the volume of complaints at times exceeding the number of calls seeking a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. And last month, President Joe Biden's re-election campaign joined TikTok. But last week, Biden said he would sign the bill if it came across his desk. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said on Tuesday the goal was ending Chinese ownership, not banning TikTok.
Do we want TikTok as a platform to be owned by an American company or owned by China? Do we want the data from TikTok, children's data, adults' data, to be staying here in America or going to China? That is the fundamental question at issue here.
The bill faces a more uncertain path in the U.S. Senate, where some senators favor a different approach to regulating foreign-owned apps that could pose security concerns.
Now, of course, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has been tracking all of the developments with regards to this. We earlier spoke to her and she explains as to why this has drawn the ire of so many and why some free speech advocates are pushing back.
Proponents of free speech have expressed concern that banning TikTok would infringe on Americans' First Amendment rights. They argue that the bill would limit speech online and have profound implication on freedom of expression, as millions of Americans rely on the app for information, communication, advocacy, and entertainment, and many also make money off the app. They say, and they suggest, focusing on a comprehensive data privacy legislation that would protect users' personal information instead.
Now, Donald Trump's stance recently has changed on the ban on TikTok. Susan explains this further. Let's listen in.
When Donald Trump was president, he tried to ban TikTok through executive order. The courts blocked that attempt. In recent days, he has criticized the new legislation, essentially flipping his position. Now, it's important to note that ByteDance has enlisted longtime Trump advisor David Urban. Also, a former senior White House official, Kellyanne Conway, has advocated against banning TikTok, on behalf of Club of Growth, which is a conservative advocacy group opposing the closing of the video app. Conaway has reportedly warned Republicans against banning TikTok, saying that it has users in every district and could trigger a ban and a backlash from voters in an election year. She has also spoken to former President Donald Trump about possible complications related to restricting this app again in an election year.